Well, back in late 2004, the Nintendo DS hit the shelves in Japan and North America, and it wasn't until the 11th of March 2005 when gamers here in the UK could get their hands on one. Why do I remember that date? Well, I was one of thousands of gamers who queued outside their local video game stores at midnight, waiting for the stores to open and let us in one at a time to pick up our Nintendo DS's and choose from a variety of games and accessories that were on offer. And with mine, I picked up Super Mario 64 and Tiger Woods Pro Tour, and the DS also came bundled with the trial demo version of Metroid Prime Hunters. I also picked up a variety of accessories such as the carrying case to the neck strap, screen protectors and the DS case, and then I headed on home after an eventful evening and played the hell out of Super Mario 64. And ever since that particular date, the Nintendo DS has become one of the greatest handheld devices ever made. And Nintendo have continued updating the DS hardware, and upon doing so, different models have been released from the DS Lite to the DSi, and in the not too distant future we'll be getting our hands on the Nintendo 3DS. But before that happens, we're going to take a look at the original and current models of the Nintendo DS, as yes, it's Sunday and this is Video Games and Consoles from the Loft. Hey everyone, and yes, once again it's Sunday, and welcome to part 2 of season 5. And today I wanted to give and share my thoughts and opinions, and as you've already heard, some of my experiences about the Nintendo DS. And before Nintendo go ahead and release the fourth successor to the original, I wanted to review and look at that original Nintendo DS, and of course, as a bonus, I thought we could take a look at the current model as well. So without wasting any further time, here comes the background info. Well, Nintendo released the original DS in 2004 in Japan and in North America, and it was shipped to the rest of the world in 2005. The Nintendo DS would stand out from any other handheld video games console the world had ever seen with its dual screen and touchscreen approach. And in doing so, Nintendo wanted to inspire video game developers to dream up new game ideas and give us all a chance to interact differently with our favourite characters and give us brand new and brilliant new games. And yes, Nintendo have achieved just that, as the catalogue of games continues to expand and grow in the shops, and there is never just the one target audience, as many of the games can be played by the whole family and sometimes in joint battles, as the Nintendo DS hosts a wireless connectivity option, allowing you to play the games against your friends and family, but also you can play the DS and play at wireless connectivity hotspots around the world. And the wireless fun doesn't end there, as on May the 7th 2008, Nintendo released the Nintendo Channel, which allows you to download trial demos of the latest games straight to your DS. And over the last 6 years, Nintendo have released newer and more easier to use models, iterations of the Nintendo DS, with the release of the DS Lite and DSi, and not too far away in the distant future we'll all be handling the 3DS. But for now, let's take a closer look at the Nintendo DS and Nintendo DSi. Well, both Nintendo DS boxes in front of us are pretty flashy and futuristic looking, and both pretty much provide a rough guide into the devices themselves. And both boxes' contents contain items that will help you get on and started, as the original DS and DSi come with leaflets, manuals, warranty cards and point cards. Both DS's boxes come with battery chargers, however these are different from one another as the connections differ in sizes. Both boxes also contain spare stylus pens as backups, and of course both boxes contain the Nintendo DS's themselves. When the two different DS's are lined up side by side, you can naturally see the difference in size and how much more the current model on the left is much more compact and easier to handle. Both DSs come complete with power buttons, D-pads, start and select buttons, and X, Y, A and B buttons. The original DS has power on and charge light indicators, and the DSi has wireless power on and charge lights. The DSi also houses two 0.3 megapixel cameras on the inside hinge and one on the outside cover. Both DSs have headphone ports and volume controls on the front and sides, and both have battery packs stored underneath. The original DS also supports Game Boy Advance games, whereas the newer DSi model does not, and each DS comes complete with left and right triggers, game slots and battery ports on the top, and the DS also houses the stylus on the top, whereas the DSi has its stylus stored on the side next to the SD card slot, which you can use to store your items. Well, that's the complete guide to these two DSs, so let's check them out in action. Well, I figured as we have two DSs, I'd do a wii comparison against one another to show the two different system menus, and I'll even add in some gameplay footage at the end. And as you can see, there's a huge difference between the DS and DSi, as the original DS has quite a basic system menu where you can select the game inserted, play the Pico chat feature and DS download play feature, and play the inserted Game Boy Advance game as well. And that's pretty much it, apart from a few options for the date, time and wireless connectivity. As for the DSi, well, you can tell it's a vast improvement to the original, with scrolling menus and nice bright large icons to select. And the DSi comes with more features, including the camera feature where you can edit and send your pictures to your friends. Then there's the Nintendo Sound feature, the DSi shop where you can buy and download material for your DSi, and briefly there's the Pico chat, internet browser, and finally the Flipnote Studio. Well, for some gameplay action, I've chosen New Super Mario Bros. And I've chosen to select the Versus game, which includes having to download the game onto another DS so we can have some wireless madness. And once that's completed, the game can start, and it's all against all, as you as either Mario or Luigi charge about specially built maps where you can fetch after stars that appear every so often, and you can steal them off your opponents, and the first to collect the amount selected wins. It's great fun, and this really just shows a part of what's on offer for the Nintendo DS. Well, I really love Nintendo's DS range of handhelds, and they've certainly been extremely popular, and each of the three models that have been released over the last 6 years or so have all been impressive. However, there have been criticisms directed at certain models for adding or removing particular features. And for me personally, I was particularly annoyed about the brightness of the screen on the original Nintendo DS, and also quite jealous and gutted when Nintendo released the Nintendo DS Lite only a year later, and the screen brightness was superb and made the original look dull. And not only that, it was also smaller, more compact, and of course much more lighter. And when Nintendo released the DSi in 2008 and 2009, some gamers criticised Nintendo for removing the Game Boy Advance slot and for adding the 0.3 megapixel cameras. But for me personally, the DSi iteration is the best so far, and it has a great system menu. And even though, yes, the DSi cameras aren't that powerful, you can still have a lot of fun with the camera software and even upload and send your pictures to your friends. But no matter which DS you own or decide to go for, you're going to love the range of games available for this system, as that's what it's all really just about, as the rest is just extra. And before I forget, you can take this system just about anywhere. Well, I'm browsing through Amazon and eBay and other online sites. I've noticed that you can pick up an original DS from anything from £20 to £60, and that goes for the same in US dollars as well. As for the Nintendo DSi, well, I've seen these sell on eBay for well over £100 and $100. But if you go to Amazon, you can pick these brand new up in the UK for £100 all but a penny, and in the US they're selling for $170. And if you fork out a little bit extra, you can pick up the extra large versions of the DSi. But there are plenty of sales and bargains out there, so keep on hunting and good luck. Well, that just about wraps things up for this Sunday, but I really hoped that you've enjoyed this browse over the last 6 years of Nintendo DS history, and I really can't wait to see what Nintendo's 3DS has to offer for us in the future. Well, take care, have a great week, and I'll see you soon.
Stop trying to steal mine and get your own!